Alright, today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to make a video about a video game called Wuthering Waves. So, I just finished the finale of the most recent story arc. Okay, it's been going on for about since the beginning of the year, right? Or maybe a little, maybe longer. But I'm just gonna throw some stuff at you off the cuff and just see where these ideas take me, because I thought about it for about a day, and I think I've gathered a little bit of my thoughts, but like I'll cut it down and trim the video down a little bit to make it seem a little bit not so blech or poorly edited or long and draggy. So we're just gonna get right into it. So the reason I chose to make a video on this specifically is because there's a lot of things I see in this game that I don't see anywhere else in the gaming space, or at least not very often in the gaming space right now. I've been gaming for a long time, since I was a small child, right? And I'm a huge movie buff. I love reading. Of course, reading is hard, because if it doesn't interest you, you're not going to really read it, huh? So we're just gonna get right into stuff. My gaming opinions kind of stem from this, and how we are missing a lot of good storytelling devices, such as good themes, good questions, a good story, something heroic with heroism, a good struggle to identify with, victory, loss, being able to see those things happen in the story and even experience them as the main character. And I love when the game or the story asks big philosophical questions. I think that's when media really hits its peak, when it asks tough questions, right? I love old movies that do this. I love, think of the meaning of life, or where life comes from. So you'll think of something like Alien, Ridley Scott movies. The same type of thing about, on the opposite end of where humanity goes, or where life goes, right? With movies like Interstellar, stuff like that. Like things that ask big questions. So I'm gonna also give you a little bit of critiquing or ideas from this from a bit of a different perspective. I'm a religious man, so I look at everything through that lens, right? So I interpret the world around me through my worldview. This is not anything new, obviously. It shouldn't be to anybody. We all interpret the world or the events around us through our worldview, and it's just a matter of consistency, right? So we're gonna go from that perspective. And the religious themes in media has been surprisingly lacking, but I've found it very well in the game, in Wuthering Waves. It's just great, where what is fate, the divinity, mortality, the rejection of the divine, the rejection of God, essentially, right? And the big question, which I really love how they fleshed that out toward the end of this story arc, the question that every secularist or non-religious person has, right? That why do bad things happen, right? That's the ultimate question when it comes to a non-religious person. So based on your standard of, whatever standard you have, if you have one, right, you can answer that question or you can't. But it's the big question, why do bad things happen? There's good people out there, right? You'd think. So first, let me back up a little bit and ask what Wuthering Waves is. Okay, it's just this. It's a gacha game, but it's a lot more than that, obviously. But to get new characters or weapons, like, you're gonna have to hit the gacha system a little bit. But it's this big role-playing game, big RPG in a big open world to explore, and the art style is great. The lighting is great. It works surprisingly well on my phone, so when I'm on the go, I can play that on my phone too. It's kind of crazy. But the big thing here is that Wuthering Waves fits all these themes for me, all these criteria that I look for in a piece of media. It fits all of them. I haven't played a game or read anything or really seen any movie. I haven't seen anything in media in a while, since maybe the last thing I can really think of is that asked big questions and really tried to dig deep at them, like this, like the Nier games, like Nier Automata. That game is fantastic. Some of the best writing and themes in a game that I've ever played. And gaming as a medium is just not lacking, because there's lots of games out there, but some of your bigger titles or bigger games have been lacking, I feel like, in this area, where the themes are just not fleshed out. The characters feel bland, right? Like you just don't really get the feelings that you get, and then the good story will make you feel things. It will stir up those emotions in you, and that's what separates some good media from bad media too. And there's a reason for that. There's a philosophical reason for why our emotions get triggered or that get brought up, you know. And it's a rare thing nowadays that I have experienced such emotions in media. And the villains in this game, they really feel like villains. They'll straight up tell you their motives, and when you catch up to them, and they'll tell you their reasoning for why they do what they do. And it's like a good philosophical, theological debate almost between some of the characters. And I love how the hero actually feels like the hero, right? And at the same time, there's tragedy in his character and there's flaws, like a hero's journey. You know, think of something like the probably one of the best depictions of the hero's journey. Just think of Lord of the Rings or Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, something similar, like a good hero's journey in which there is tragedy, lots of struggle, that sort of thing, and the hero just presses on, and it's great to see. Like there's a level of perseverance to the character, and I love how the main character in this game. I've tried a few other gacha games, but I love how the main character in this game really feels like the main character. It really feels heroic, and you can still experience the tragedy in some of the story arcs, like with was it the 2.5 update, that the Frolova story arc. I was not expecting them to take or go that route with the Frolova story, and essentially almost give you this gate to this gateway through hell, or this what is the word I'm looking for? Kind of like the Dante's Inferno type of story arc, right? The guidance to the afterlife kind of situation. It's been a long time since I've read Dante's Inferno. I need to reread that book, but it gave me that feel that book gave me. Like, so there's tragedy in the main character, and they really fleshed it out, and the world building has been great. They don't take too much time to just word vomit on you and explain everything. There's bits there's like just little tidbits and cutscenes that you can get, like at the end of 2.7, where you hear somebody's real name spoken for the first time. Oh, not the first time, but you hear somebody's real name, and it kind of just clicks in your head. But they're like, wait a minute, I've heard that before. That's actually yeah. So it's actually a thing, right? Like these little lore tidbits that surprise you in the writing. It's just great to see those types of things. And even though those lore tidbits can be spread out, they connect, and you can remember them very well. And even if you don't, like, the world building there is just great. The voice acting, I love it. I love all the accents and their choice in voice actors for this game. It's great. The cutscenes and trailers are very well done, and they're not gameplay inaccurate. Like, basically all that fast-paced action that you see in like these hype trailers for these characters, you know, like in these video games, they'll always, especially these gacha games, you know, these anime video games, they'll give you a character trailer where it just looks like the character is just this wildly overpowered, you know, being, right? This overpowered character that just decimates everything. And then you actually play some of these characters, and they actually the gameplay feels surprisingly accurate to the trailer. I do love that, and then it helps immerse you in the gameplay, right? And the gameplay I could talk about, you know, for hours, and how deep the combat system actually goes, and how the characters interact, and how you can build them and use them in different ways, and you can put different artifacts on the characters to make them operate differently, or give them different little different abilities to change up your playstyle. And there's always an optimal way to do things, right? Like there's always an optimal best in slot, right? They're going to use that term a lot, and a lot of YouTubers use that term a lot for these types of games. You'll see a best in slot, but just so many building options that you can swap the play styles and make the characters do other things. And even if it's not, you know, optimal, you can still get a lot of things done with it and just change the gameplay. And it just feels really fun to do that. So I've experimented with some of that myself. I don't build a whole lot, and I just kind of, you know, get a build and get teams going I'll mix and match the characters on different teams, which is what I love to do most. I love to mix all the characters up and see what types of weird combos you can pull out. But yeah, like this game really has fleshed out a lot of the things that I think need to be talked about in media. The idea of fate, destiny, the divine, and how the villains will straight up tell you that they hate God and they'll accuse you of playing Jesus. And, you know, they'll tell you that you're the you're just trying to play the savior. There's no way, like, no, you can't avoid, or can you really avoid or create destiny? You know, can you do these things? And these are the themes that I look for in media. Overall, I think this game is just really good in that regard. And the music and the world building is just fantastic. I'm just going to go right into my conclusion because I'm not going to drag this out. But that's really the main thing. It's hard. Maybe it's harder from a non-religious perspective. When I thought of it less, I definitely didn't find as much satisfaction in media. But as I've grown into it more, especially into Christianity more, I've found a greater love for media that asks those questions and explores those themes. And now that it's so rare, it's like, man, I just experienced this great game. I'm gonna have to make a video on it now just so that I can talk about it and even listen to it later and remind myself of it, you know? So who knows? It's just really good. But I absolutely would recommend this game, even though it's a gacha game, purely because even just for the campaign. Just play through the story, and you'll get other characters along the way, and you'll still enjoy building characters and having fun, even though even if you don't spend any money on it, it's completely free. But like, absolutely would recommend just to experience the story and the themes. The camera work is great. The colors are great. The themes are better than most AAA titles I've played in recent years. The character designs are good, and it's an anime game. Like, so you're gonna get some of those anime designs, and I'm also really thankful that this game doesn't lean too hard into the fan service department. Some people might argue with me on that. There's a couple of characters in the game. One of them's basically, what is her, she's basically in a bikini, right? Like, she's covered up, but she's basically in a bikini. She's the Rin Tosaka, right, from Fate, from the Fate series. She's very self-obsessed, right? So she just thinks, you know, I'm just this way, I'm fabulous, and you know, like that's it fits her character, but like it doesn't go too far in that direction, and I like that. But the character design still, like, they look good. You can look good without going overboard. That is one thing that I really appreciate about some games. You can look good without going too overboard, and it's just really good to see that a game has been treated this way, and that the developers seem to care about it. And they seem to really care about their story. I've played their previous game, Punishing Grey Raven, a little bit, but it was just wasn't really quite able to get into it as much. I thought it was really fun. I have not played through the entire story in that game also, mind you, but I didn't really have a whole lot of time. Like, so also the other thing about this game is it's great on time, so I don't have to spend so much time on it. Like, if you wanted to log in and do your daily tasks, right, you might only spend a few minutes on it at most. So it's just one thing I love about it. It's very casual friendly, and you know, we can go into how, like, maybe there's some things that it shouldn't be so casual maybe, but it's not really necessarily something that, like, I'll get into or critique. But like, the main thing I wanted to talk about was the themes and the art style and the music, just how I haven't seen that in media for a while. Anyway, yeah, so like, even from my perspective, just from my religious perspective, just to mention how deep the themes are, it's good to see. Yeah, the big thing for me is just like how the game is presented and how the story is told and the gameplay. Those are the main things. It's a good game. Overall, like, what are we gonna 9 out of 10? 9 out of 10? 9 out of 10 game? I don't know. It's just really good. I'm gonna keep playing it. So, yeah. Just thought I'd give my quick, not really a theological thought, but like it's a philosophical thought. Anyway, I'll end it here. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, and if you don't.